What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for the instant match reaction as Spurs have lost by 1-0 here to Manchester City. Definitely a game of two halves, even though we didn't seem to score in both of them. But the first half, let's start there. I mean, let's start with the lineup first and foremost, because Sonny left on the bench, Decky left on the bench, Odobert out on the left-hand side, Brennan on the right, Talle up top, Maddison in the middle of the park. I mean,
it was toothless.
Yeah, I mean, it was. But on the face of things, I was happy with that lineup because I've been calling for Decky to have a rest. I've been calling for Sonny to have a rest.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure about the Jed Spence one, him being left out. But I guess I was happy that these guys had a rest, but it didn't really make the desired impact.
That's all you were happy for, just the rest.
Yeah, because it didn't make the desired impact that we wanted.
Yeah, it was just a bit toothless. It was so static. I mean, that first half, the whole of that first half, everyone was playing with their back to the Man City goal, weren't they? There was no real running off the ball. No one was on their toes. Very rarely was anyone actually coming to the ball. I think Bergvall did to a certain extent, trying to pick up the ball and make something happen. Yeah, it was just too lacklustre. There was no tempo to that first half whatsoever. In fact, I think Man City were just almost just allowing us just to have the ball and almost, you know, just slow things down because they knew we didn't have the quality on the ball to do anything with. Second half was a completely different story. I don't know whether that was because we upped the tempo or City just took their foot off the gas, maybe a mixture of both. But it did look as though we had a little bit more dynamism to us, but still didn't really, I mean, what would you say, clear-cut chances? I mean, Danso had a few headers.
They weren't really clear-cut chances, though. He would have done well to put them in the back of the net. I mean, the big chance that we had was literally last kick of the game.
Well, the Sarr header.
That was our biggest chance of the game, probably. Yeah. We did have a couple of other chances. You know, Sonny had one that, you know, he could have been doing better with.
Yeah.
But in the first half, it really was men against boys. That's the reality.
We were chasing shadows almost,
yeah, we were
wasn't it?
chasing shadows. We just couldn't get our foot on the ball. It was way too static.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't break them down for love nor money. And they had probably three real big chances. There was the one that they scored from. There's the one at Savinho at the back post. He's got to be doing there. And the other one that Haaland had, like in the middle of the penalty area. I mean...
And I can't believe they disallowed that goal as well, because to me that just didn't look... There wasn't enough in that for me for a handball.
No, I probably need to see it again, even though I have seen it about 10 times here. But it was a strange one, though, wasn't it?
Strange, yeah. I'm surprised they gave that, or didn't give it, shall I say.
But, you know, I think after that shit show, because the first half really was a shit show, I thought we were dreadful. I thought we came out with a new sense of energy. You know, we didn't make the changes like we were all calling for at half-time. And I thought in the second half, we showed a lot more about us.
Yeah, I would say, a little bit more. There was a little bit more risk-taking on the ball. They were like trying to pick... So I always think whenever our players pick up the ball when they're walking, nothing ever happens. But when they're picking up the ball whilst they're already running, stuff starts to happen. So you could see there was a little bit more of that second half, couldn't you? They're playing it onto players that are running rather than just playing onto players that are just walking around. So there was a little bit of a shift in tempo and energy second half. Not enough to really change the game. What can we say? Danso, I thought, was decent. Apart from that, not many standout performances. Even for City, I don't even think Doku had a great game. He just had so much space on the left-hand side. Porro was doing his best moonwalk impression, wasn't he?
Porro was getting eaten alive in that first half. I thought in the second half he kind of stemmed the tide a bit and started to compete a lot better. And those gaps weren't as evident in the second half as they were in the first half.
He just doesn't go. If you know you've got players behind you or backing you up, at least one of you go to the man. You don't all back off at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just a little bit of that with Porro. He doesn't quite know to sort of go to the man. Even if he does even if he has, you know, uses a bit of skill and gets past you, okay. But you've got Spurs players behind you. Don't just all back off, and that's what Porro tends to do quite a lot of the time.
Do you think a 1-0 win for Man City was a fair reflection of the game?
I mean, I think it could have been a 1-1, but I think for all the chances, I think they probably deserved it. If you're taking the first half, all those chances, but I think if it's a game of two halves, you could say we could have deserved a goal there. You know, could have been a 1-1.
I think we did deserve a goal in that second half, and I feel like, you know, Man City did miss presentable chance in the first. I mean, they created so much in the first half where they could have been 2 or 3 up at half time, which, you know, but seeing as they didn't put those chances away, I thought we were the much better team in the second half. We were the ones making all the runnings. We created the more chances. I mean, I can't think of many chances that Man City created in that second half.
No, I can't either. I'm trying to think about it. Yeah, they did a bit of probing, and they seemed to really slow the game down in the last 10, 15 minutes. And it looked as though we were really getting on, you know, head of steam, didn't it, at one point? And then suddenly, just the last 10 minutes, they took the sting out of the game, and that was it. They kind of all petered out after that.
And that's what Man City is so good at, right? Just retaining the ball, retaining possession, passing it around you. And I think that's what they did for a lot of the latter stages of that second half. We just couldn't get near them at times.
Yeah.
And look, after 3 wins in a row, come back down to earth now, losing to Man City at home. Is it a bit of pills to swallow for you, or something that you were kind of expecting? I know you.
I thought we would come out in the start of the game and we'd sort of really suffocate them and play a really high tempo, fizz the ball around, and try and get on top, and kind of like we've done to City in the past, against all the odds. But it was just too much at walking pace. Yeah, it was just too drab. Didn't hurt them enough. Yeah, just everyone's just sort of like with their back to goal, just sort of waiting for things to happen, and the passing was just a little bit overly cautious, no real risk taking. A lot of the balls they'd get into a good area and then just sort of cut back inside and just recycle the ball. So yeah, that was the kind of the complexion of that first half. So it was disappointing because I actually felt as though we could have won this game.
What did you make out of Odobert? Because I felt in the first half he was playing within himself way too much, where he was getting on the ball, kept checking inside, not really taking on his man. When the second half came, I thought he was doing a lot more of that, and then he kind of got taken off when he was in kind of his best moment in the game.
Yeah, we kind of saw glimpses of it just before he came off, where just when you're when you got the ball and you're taking on your man, there's a little bit of acceleration in that last pass, that last touch, just to make a yard for yourself, and we didn't see that in the first half. It's sort of getting in front of the man and then just sort of a few step overs, but not really with that kind of dynamic bit of acceleration, But we saw that a little bit more in the second half, but yeah, still not really. Yeah, I mean, still not seeing much are we from Odobert, but he's got time. But
there were a couple of times where he was just getting on the ball, beating his fullback and just driving into the penalty area. I guess those moments were a bit too few and far between, but it was a lot more in the second half than we saw in the first half. And we spoke about Porro. I want to talk to you about a positive. My Spurs man the match, let's say, from the game is Kevin Danso, because I thought he was a brick wall for the most part. Yeah, look, it didn't come without error, because I thought, maybe particularly the one that got ruled out, probably should be doing better there. But if it's a handball, it's a handball. You can't really do much about it. But I just thought this guy, he is impressing me as the weeks go by. Kevin Danso.
I thought he was good. I wouldn't say he was exceptional or anything, but what did you like? What did you like about him the most?
I thought his aggressive nature, the way he wins his tackles, the way he wins his interceptions, the way he drives up the pitch as well. When we don't have a Romero and we don't have that front-footed aggressive defender, we miss something like that so much since we bring in Danso. And I think he adds that kind of element to the team when Romero's not there.
Better than Dragusin, would you say?
Oh, miles better than Dragusin. Not only is he better than him, but he suits the system a lot more than him.
Yeah. There's a few moments where he got the ball and he did a couple of Cruyff turns, during that game, and it sent the City players in the wrong way, and then he kind of drove forwards, broke the lines. I saw that a couple of times, which is quite impressive for a centre back, isn't it, to do that? Quite brave of him to do that on the ball.
Yeah, and he was probably our biggest threat on goal throughout the game.
Well, he had a couple of headers, didn't he? They weren't real gilt-edged opportunities, but he seems like he's good in the air, and he's sort of got a bit of presence about him. Strong. He did well to slide in the penalty area, didn't he? I mean, is that what you're talking about?
Very well.
But he did a few things where he's sliding in, knowing that he can shield the ball whatever happens. Gets his body in the way a few times. And
I feel like Danso has come into this club and just slotted in straight away, like he's been there.
Yeah, it's made the difference, hasn't it?
He's made the difference. 100%.
What about Talle?
Yeah, Talle, another bit of a lacklustre performance. He had that kind of chance where he didn't get to the ball first. The Man City defender got there in front of him, and maybe Odobert should have taken the shot, but I think it was Odobert at the time. But yeah, he just flatters to deceive a little bit. Looks a bit lightweight up there in the number 9. I mean, if I'm judging, if I want to spend 60 million on him on the last couple of performances, the answer's no. But he's a young player, 19 years of age, got a big career ahead of him. He's got a lot of technical talent, in my opinion, but just hasn't been able to show it, because I feel like he's just being wrestled out of games and out-muscled in games. I just think he's a bit lightweight.
And also sort of waiting for the ball to find him, whereas you can't do that in the Premier League. You've got to go and drop back a little bit and trying to create something. It's almost like you can't just wait. It's like a bit like Soldado, you can't. It's never going to happen for you in the Premier League doing that.
I look at him compared to Dom Salanke, right? And that's exactly what Dom Salanke does. He's such a physical player. He's such an aggressive player. He drops deep. He knits the play together.
Knits.
But then he's always getting into the box as well. Like, he's involved in every phase of the play.
I think Talle still thinks he's playing for Bayern, doesn't he?
That's the thing.
You can't.
I think when you're looking at a number 9, I just don't think he's the right style of number 9 that we're looking for.
Yeah, probably not going to fit, is it? You need players that are going to drop back and, like you say, knit things together and be part of the build-up play, and then drive forward as a all flood forward at the same time kind of thing.
I just think it's his kind of physicality, right? He just looks really lightweight.
Do you think?
And when
lightweight?
I saw him on the left-hand side against Villa, I don't know if you saw the cup game against Villa. He was on the left. He started on the left, and he was able to beat his man a couple of times, but he just kept getting muscled out of the game and muscled off the ball. And I just feel like 19 years of age, only ever played in the Bundesliga, 1 year in the French league. Like, what more can we expect? The Premier League is a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, I mean, I hope just lack of star quality, but I'm not going to write him off yet. But you just hope for a little bit more, don't you, on the ball? Just a little bit of like stardust, a little sprinkle of something, but doesn't seem to be there.
Yeah, and it was, to be honest, it was the same against Ipswich as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't do it against Ipswich, you've got to do it against someone. And he's kind of had the two opposite ends of Ipswich and then Man City. And
I mean, was it Liverpool, the goal? Was it Liverpool?
It was Villa.
Oh, it was Villa. Yeah, I mean, I thought he took his goal well against Villa, but
definitely took his goal well. But it's just really, really a shame, because I thought he was going to kind of hit the ground running, and we're going to see a star in the making. But look, I think we just need to be a bit patient with Talle and kind of see where we go with it. But another player who really impressed me tonight in patches was Lucas Bergvall.
Yep.
Particularly in the first half when we weren't playing well, he was the only one really with that forward-thinking mentality to get the ball, drive forward, beat your man, show a few nice little silky touches on the ball. I mean, this guy's got, when you're talking about teenagers doing it in the big leagues, I mean, he's doing it.
I can actually see his game growing in confidence a little bit more. I think when he was first coming on, this is natural to do this. When you collect the ball, you immediately collect it and you give it straight away, because you're worried about the player, like the man on, like the player coming into your back, right?
Yeah.
But what he's now doing is, as he's getting the ball, he's sort of dropping the shoulder and then getting it more on the half turn and letting it run across his body a little bit more, and then like kind of using the momentum of the ball to drive forwards more. That's something, as you get more confidence, you start to do that. Bergvall's starting to do that more, and he was turning defence into an attack, if you could call it that, but sort of taking us from the back foot to the front foot by dropping deep, dropping into those spaces, and then creating those little outs. Because apart from him, everyone was just sort of waiting there, weren't they, for the ball? Nothing's going to happen that way, is it? So at least Bergvall was trying to make something happen in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought Bentancur showed a bit in that first half as well. He was getting on the ball. He was winning some really good challenges and trying to move us forward. Yeah, he was looking tidy. Had a couple of headers as well from corners where maybe he could have done a bit better from. Brennan Johnson, I mean, another ghost display from him, really.
Yeah, we were talking about this, weren't we, before the game?
Yeah, we were talking about when he's not scoring, he's not really doing much, and he's got the ability to take on his man, because he did it once in the whole game, right, towards the end.
Yeah, but even when he's running on the wing, right, you shouldn't run like parallel to the touchline, right? You've got to be bending your run with the ball inwards.
Yeah.
Bale, like the goal in the final, the cup final against Barcelona. He's like he's on the sideline, right? But he's every touch is moving slightly more inwards and inwards and inwards to the point where he's in front of goal and he taps it, nutmegs the goalie or whatever, right? Yeah. Brennan Johnson's run is too parallel to the touchline, the sideline. He needs, every touch needs to be going more inwards, but it's not, is it? So by the time he actually does get a ball, it's not in a dangerous position. That's just something I've noticed. But then, if you what you think about that?
I do agree with you, because I said to you on the watch along that when you see Brennan do run, he's always straight line running, and it gets a bit frustrating. But again, like, you can do something with that if you get good crosses in the box, but he doesn't do it enough. He doesn't go and try and take on his man. And the one time he took on his man, we actually created a chance
from it. What, the one that went to Kulu's? Yeah, almost got to Kulu. Yeah, exactly.
No, he got to Kulu, but Kulu kind of just like with a
because he's meant to have pace, but you don't really see him utilise that enough.
Yeah,
like he always says he's one of the quickest players in the Premier League, doesn't he? Or at least he said he was the fastest player.
He is very fast.
He's quick, but use that as a weapon. Like, Bale used to knock the ball. I'm not saying he's going to be a Bale, but like, you can at times just knock it past the player and run onto it.
Yeah.
I don't see that from him. Little things like that he could try. Oh, I want to say, I thought Gray was composed, as always.
Composed. On the ball, he's just brilliant.
He's brilliant, mate. He's a Rolls Royce on the ball. Yeah. Always makes the right decision, very composed. For his age, I've never seen an 18-year-old look so composed.
Do you think that his future's going to be at centre-back, or do you feel like he will
No. I think you've got to play him in the middle.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what he can do there.
What would you say, like a 6 or an 8?
Like a 6, I would say.
6, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Because he says his natural position is an 8. Like
right, okay. I mean, could be.
Player.
I mean, what you notice from him as a centre-back is that he does that thing where he dribbles himself out of trouble. So a lot of players would get the ball, they face the opposition, and they'll just kind of like play it around the opposition. He'll just like find the little space and accelerate through it and dribble through it, which actually relieves the pressure off the defence. It was things like that I always said Winks never did enough. And I said if he could add that to his game, Winks would be all right.
Sim's not sitting here.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, you can see that he does that a lot, and I think that plus he's got the passing, he picks the right pass, but he just looks so elegant on the ball, composed, picks the right passes. Even under pressure, he never looks phased.
Yeah, I know. I totally
So
agree.
you have to say, like, for his age as well, I think that's actually incredible.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, both of what him and Bergvall are showing at their ages is just incredible, to be honest. To me.
Yeah.
Because you compare it to like a Tell, but I guess they've had more kind of match day experience and time in the Premier League than Tell, so maybe we shouldn't rush to judge him. You know what I mean? At that age, but I thought Spence again when he came on showed a lot more than probably what Doggy showed on that left hand side.
I don't know. I do like Udogie. I think he gets a lot of stick, but I think that he does well. And like his burst of pace, like straight off the mark, is good. It causes problems for the opposition. He can get past. Even his first touch, a lot of people just trap the ball in his first touch. His first touch immediately knocks it past the opposition. He runs onto it, to kind of keep the momentum going. Little things like that I see in Udogie's game, which is excellent. I wouldn't say it was better than Spencer, but I love Spence. I'm not gonna, I don't want to compare them, but I think every time Spence plays, he looks strong, aggressive, forward-thinking, always looking to go forwards on the ball. Great with the outside of the boot as well. Just want to get them both in the team, really.
I felt like we really missed this Dom Salanke today. Because if Dom Salanke plays, you have that aggressive nature up front. He drops deep, like what we were saying before, right? He would be the one dropping deep and really winning the ball back consistently. He's probably our best presser as well. And I just felt that the pressing was a bit half-assed today.
It was half-assed because the thing with the press is like you've all got to commit to the press. If part of the press isn't committed, then the whole thing falls apart, right? It's a little bit like, do you ever play tennis and you go for a topspin shot? If you don't fully 100% commit to that topspin, it's that ball is out the park. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like as a press, you've all got to commit, not just the first line, the second line, and the third line. But we weren't doing like the third line of the press wasn't quite backing up, was it? So it was all a little bit, like you say, half-assed.
Yeah, which was a shame.
Yeah,
it was a shame because, to be fair, we did win the ball back in quite good areas. Particularly, Udogie won that ball back.
Yeah.
In a brilliant area where we should have done a lot more from. So I think we'll probably rue these we do rue these missed chances in the second half. I think we didn't kind of get what we deserved with the performance that we did put in the second half. But if you put in that performance in the first half, you kind of reap what you sow.
Yeah, I mean, so if we would have put in a performance like that in the first half, what do you reckon would have been fair result then?
What if we? Sorry.
So if we'd have put in the first half performance like we did in the second half, what do you think?
Oh, it probably would have been 3-4-0.
Do you reckon?
What if we had a carbon copy of the first half performance in this? Yeah, we would have got battered.
Because that's what I was hoping we'd come out the blocks like that, in the first half, like we showed a little bit in glimpses of the second half. But
I think if we performed the whole game like we did in the second half, I think we probably could have nicked it 1-0 or something.
Yeah.
But look, it wasn't to be. Yeah. We got beaten by the better side today. Sometimes you just got to hold your hands up. But look, I thought there were a few signs of positivity there that you can cling on to. I thought the second half performance was a lot better. But you got to put the ball in the back of the net, and we just didn't do that. We didn't have the clinical edge or the cutting edge, and I think Salanke, like I said, was a massive. Do
you think? Because I often think that sometimes that when we lose games, fans always goes, "Oh, we really miss Salanke," and then a Salanke will come back in, and then someone else won't be in the team, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, we really miss him," and then he'll come back in, and they'll go, "Oh." I don't know. Sometimes I think it's a bit.
No, I get what you're saying because I remember that with like Højbjerg.
We really miss him. He comes back in, and we still lose. Oh, we really miss him.
But Salanke's a different kettle of fish because you can't compare right now a number 9 like Salanke and Tell. They're just not comparable. Tell is at the beginning of his career, right? 19 years of age, first few games in the Premier League. Doesn't look like he's kind of competing physically right now. Dom Salanke, he is like the ultimate physical number 9. He's not the best number 9 in the league by any stretch. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is he's one of the most physical number 9s in the league. And he'll win the ball back consistently, time and time again. He'll be a goal threat as well. And he'll also create a few chances.
He's not a target man, but he's someone that comes...
He can be a target man, though. We just don't use him like
that. He's not like a typical number 9 target man. That's what we're saying, though, right?
But I think he can be, because I think that's how Bournemouth used him.
I see him as someone that drops back and kind of knits things together.
That's what his role is for us.
I think,
That's what his role is
and pressing and really aggressively pressing from the front to hopefully encourage the others to back him up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And when he's not playing, you lose that big element of that, particularly when you've got someone like a Tell up front.
Yeah, I think Tell is getting his baptism of fire in the Premier League a little bit, isn't he?
But, the reality is now...
What's the position in the league now, then?
We sit 13, right?
Is Man United overtaken us now?
Man United, we're on the same points as them, but they're on -6, we're on 14, plus 14. But that's 14 losses in the Premier League this season.
Oh, my God.
14. tell you the only teams that have lost more than us are Wolves, Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton. That's mad.
We don't
You're
draw
looking
many
at
games though, do we?
West Ham are 16th, they've lost 12. Everton have lost 9, and Man United have lost 12.
See, I look at it on points per game. What is it, points per game ratio, roughly?
Not very good.
No.
1.49 or something like that.
Bad, isn't it? Yeah, it's bad.
It's not great. So, I mean, where are you at with Ange Postecoglou?
Well, I would say you've got to set very, very clear targets for him to hit. That would be my suggestion, right? Not just like, for me, it's not just like, are the team looking like they're playing well? For me, you have to set very, very clear parameters for him to, goals for him to hit, for him to keep his place next year, I would say. For me, it has to be 8th and a trophy for him to keep his job, in my opinion. But if you had to set some parameters, some goals for him to hit, rather than just looking like we're playing well, what would you say, just as a marker?
I'll probably be in line with you. You know, I want to see consistency from now to the end of the season. We did get those 3 wins in the Premier League, albeit there were 2 cup losses in between them. But we need to prioritise the Europa League. You look at the Europa League, AZ Alkmaar, we've already beaten them this season. We've got to go through. In the next round, you've got Ajax or Frankfurt. It gets harder, but we should be beating those teams. And in the semi-final, if you probably want to go on the favourite, it'll be probably Lazio in the semi. And we probably, with the players that we got, should beat them as well. So I think it'll be a massive disappointment if we don't get to the final, at least, of the Europa League this season.
And what are you feeling about it? Do you feel confident in that competition or not?
Every time I'm confident, they just smack me in the face.
Yeah, exactly. So it's best not to think
I said I was confident today, and then we go and lose.
I was confident today as well.
So look, we just need to prioritise the Europa League, try and go on a consistent run in the Premier League, and if that's the case, then I think if we go and win the Europa League, and I think he'll keep his job.
So if we win the Europa, but it doesn't matter about the league position, if we're still bottom half of the table, would you still say keep?
Yeah, I think you have to if you win Europa League. Okay, it's like our most successful manager.
All right, so don't win the Europa, then what's got to happen in the league for him to keep his place?
Go on a very, very good run, like win the majority of the games.
That's too intangible, though, isn't it? Is it not?
Why is that?
Well, so league position, what do you think?
Like 8th, like you've got a 8th or above. Try and get European competition.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay.
Even 7th or above, you need to get. If you're not winning the Europa League, I think you have to get into the European competitions.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I think that's a good target. Yeah.
So right. That is our instant match reaction, guys. Now it's your time to have your say. Looking forward to speaking to all you lovely people out there. The link is in the community section. And first up, we've already got our first guest over here, and we're going to get him off. We're going to get him on in a very few seconds.
You thought he was just about to come on, did you?
I thought he was about to come on, but we're just lining him up. We're just
change for Spurs. Oh wow, this is cool.
No, not change for Spurs. He goes by the name of Christian.
Man with pen in hand.
How you doing, Christian?
I can't hear him.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, my friend. How are you doing?
Well, first I just want to say, no moral victories, only motivating defeats. So no more victories, only motivating defeats. Because, everyone's going to come on and say like, that second half, we really, we gave it all we got. And they looked really well. Like teams that are okay with losing are never going to win a trophy. So, that's why I'm saying, no moral victories, only motivating defeats. So, I'm hoping that they can get something out of this. Frankly, I hope they go into this first Europa League game, and I hope they go in ticked off. I hope they go in, just ready, because I think, this match just showed, man, whenever we are going and we have the right players on the pitch, what team can't we beat? What team can't we hang with? So that's what I'd say. I think there's a few positives that we can get from this. That being said, let's not hang our hat on. Oh well, we had a good second half. At the end of the day, we lost the match, and that can't be okay.
Christian, talk to me about the starting lineup today, because Kulusevski left off the bench, Sonny left on the bench, Spence left on the bench. What was your initial reaction to that?
You know, I was okay with it. I really was because I want to win in the Premier League, and I think it's important that we win in the Premier League. But right now, our focus needs to be on Europa. So, like, I get, wanting to, I get wanting to not, kind of rest those guys. That way, when we're fresh, for the Europa game. So that being said, you guys said it, but these youngsters, they're not youngsters anymore. Archie Gray played like a professional. Bergval played like a professional today. So they've earned their spots. They've earned some trust. And some of the new guys, like I think if he keeps putting them in, Danzo is gonna take Romero's spot. He's already gonna fight him for it.
Not
But
sure about that.
he played terrific today. I mean, maybe
I
I'm
agree with you.
biased, but
I agree with you. But, with Couto Romero on his way back, Van de Ven looking like he's on his way back, when all three are fit, who do you think starts?
that's a big question. I think right now, just because he's co-captain, if it were me, I like Romero and Van de Ven. I think we're a different team when Van de Ven is on the pitch. But that being said, I think Romero. I think it's good. I think it's good for him. I think he plays his best whenever he has a little bit of competition. So we'll see. But I think Van de Ven is our best center back right now, at least.
I thought you were saying Danso's got a chance to take the place instead of Romero there. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I just maybe it's just because it's been too long. For
You've forgotten about him.
Yeah, it's been too long. I haven't watched him play enough. But I mean, because Romero is excellent whenever he's on the pitch. But Danzo today played terrific. Like there were a few stops that he made that it might have been a goal if he's not on the pitch. So he played really well. We'll just have to see. I'll say this. I think he's good to push the first players. That's going to be my stance. He's good to push the first players. Because he played well, and then when Romero comes back, let's hope he gets in stride, and then like I said, I think Van de Ven is one of our best players, and I think a healthy Van de Ven it just changes our team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what are you thinking now? Because 14 losses this season, which is clearly nowhere near good enough. The only teams that have got more losses than us is everyone with Wolves and in the relegation zone. Do you think we can kick on now after seeing that second half performance, or did the first half performance just worry you?
I think, I'm always optimistic. I think that we can go on a run, because I think when we have our players on, our starting players on the pitch, we're good enough to beat any team. And let's be honest, I'm starving for a trophy and success, and I think win one trophy, and I think a lot of this other stuff, now that we have that monkey off our back, comes a lot easier. So I want to win in the Premier League, but if we can I would accept 10th place in the Premier League if we win the Europa League. I would accept 10th place.
Wouldn't?
Yeah. So I think Ange is doing the right things right now. I think he's learned a lot this season. Right now, I would ride with Ange unless he has an early exit from Europa League. But I think we can go on a run. I think if we can put our main focus on Europa, and then just maybe go on a few runs in the Premier League, I think that I think we can still turn around this season, and then maybe a few years from now, we don't remember what place we got in Premier League. We just remember, hey, that's the year that we won the Europa League. That's the year that we went on a run and won the Europa League.
Yeah, I mean, no one remembers the league position with Ramos, do they, when we won? But
we remember we were terrible in the league. That's what we
but I've said this to before. That's almost like a good omen, because I think 91 we were shocking in the league.
Yeah.
99 under George Graham we were bad, and then Ramos was bad in the league. So I'm hoping that might be like a little good lucky kind of charm in a way.
Every one of our managers that wins a trophy or does very well, like Champions League final or Poch, loses their job the next season.
Say it again?
Every manager that wins a trophy loses their job the next season.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ramos
whether
did,
they deserve it or not.
did.
Venables.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, dear.
Did Venables as well?
I don't know. I think Venables was probably gone shortly after that. Yeah, I think maybe someone in the chat can tell us.
But is that for you, Christian? Is it Europa League or bust, Ranch?
Yes, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And you talked about managers. I loved Poch, but to be honest, speaking from someone that lives in America, I'm glad he's with the United States right now. So,
keep it warm for us. Keep it warm for us, because he's going to come home one day.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Let's win the World Cup first. Oh
God, good luck. You got more chance. Spurs have got more chance of winning the league than you've got of winning the World Cup.
Hey, I said I'm optimistic.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Christian, who was your man of the match today?
Let's see. I guess for Spurs. I mean, let's see. I gotta give it to. Let's see, because Spence didn't play well and didn't play enough, but he was lightning when he came on. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Spurs man of the match. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it to Bergvall, because he was a player that, he had a few slips, but he was always pressing forward. It always seemed like he was one that was hustling, that was trying to get things forward. And I think if he just, I'll give him Spurs man of the match. But I think if he just keeps building on what he's doing right now, man, he's going to be a player. And so I was really proud of his effort.
Yeah, absolutely, Christian. But thank you so much for coming on once again, my friend. And we'll see you next time.
Hey, appreciate it. Just remember, no matter what anyone says, no moral victories, only motivating defeats, right?
That's what we're going for.
I need to have a think.
Come on, Christian. Big up to yourself.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Are you sure you didn't get that the other way around? Does he not mean like we don't want the motivating defeats? Surely it's like we don't want any more motivating defeats. We just want the moral victory. Like I almost feel like he's got that the wrong way around. Anyway, I'll have to listen to that back.
Next up is Edward. How you doing, Edward?
Good evening, guys. How are you? I'm good.
Good evening to you as well, my friend. What did you make out of the game today?
It was a close match. It was a close match. I thought we were unlucky, but still, it's the same old story this season. We just did not perform well enough to take our chances. It was a very close match. If you have a look at the stats, if you watched the game, you could tell. But I just thought we were just too slow.
Yeah, particularly in the first half, very slow. I thought in the first half it was very much men against boys. We just couldn't compete at any levels. But did you not notice an improvement in the second half?
Yeah, massive improvement. It's like, I can't describe it, but it was a match of two halves. And I think first half we just needed a while to get used to the conditions, and I think second half, once we knew what the situation was, we just put a lot more effort into it.
Who was your real standout players then today?
This might sound crazy, but Pedro Porro.
Porro! We were slating Porro.
Ben was hating on him.
In the first half. On him. I mean, I thought Porro was getting opened up time and time again in that first half.
Well,
what did you see in Porro?
I'm biased, okay? I'm biased. I love the guy.
Why are you biased? What's biased about Porro? What's your allegiances with Porro?
I just like he's just like my favorite player because Like last season, I went to Tottenham like 3 times
Mm,
for a senior team match, and he scored 2 times. So
I see.
no matter what, he could like get sent off and like
And you'll still
take
get
out
your
half the
man the
people in the
match.
stands, and I'd still love him.
What did he do today that really impressed you?
I think he was all right on the ball. A few mistakes, but to be honest, I think Spence was all right coming off the bench. But from what I've seen from Spence's season, I think he was very underwhelming.
So basically, what we're saying is that he scored last season twice when you were there, so he gets man the match today.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cutting edge analysis here.
I did a post on my TikTok page with Ange Postecoglou doing the Donald Trump. You're gonna get tired of us winning. I look like an absolute muppet now because already my mates are in the comments going, "Well, this aged well." Second or fourth time I saw it, like my phone was blaring off the notifications.
Oh,
So
dear.
what's your opinions on Ange now? I mean, that you gave your opinions clear before the game. Then, where are you at with Ange now?
Oh, I mean, I'm still torn 50-50 with them. Half of me wants him to go, half of me wants him to stay. But now I see myself leaning towards wanting him to leave because despite me being told and despite me saying sadly that he's a long-term manager and he wins things in his second season, he's just not been it today. And we've had injuries, sure, we've had injuries, but I mean, you have a look at the team he played today. He treated it like it was a cup match. He played. Um, he started the match without Kulusevski, Son, and Spence, arguably three of our best players this season. He treated it like a cup match. He made rotations when it wasn't needed, and I guess you could say it's to prevent injuries. But at this rate in the season, who cares about injuries? You need to win.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say about that is I can't really criticize that because for the last month I've been saying you got to rest Son, you got to rest Kulusevski, and when he actually goes and does it, I can't actually criticize it. So
Yeah, it's just whether or not he should have done it at the same time, both players at the same time. And I thought
maybe
he
should
could.
have done it against
I think he
Ipswich,
could have
but-
started Spence. It's not like he's looked tired. You know, some players you look at like Kulusevski,
Yeah,
who look like they're slowing down. Spence looks like he's full of beans every time you watch him.
100%. Spencer's just running off that adrenaline, isn't he? He's just like
Because he wants it, you know. He's not injured. He's not carrying any knocks or anything.
Yeah.
He's really desperate for it, isn't he?
Yeah.
I noticed that we've been linked with the Bournemouth centre back. What's his name?
Dean Hyson.
Yes, I don't think we should go for him
Why not?
because we've got Luka Vuskovic coming in the summer. It's someone you've all forgotten about, by the way. He's got an interest
I tell
from.
you, Edward, I have not forgotten about Luka Vuskovic. If you look at my X account, We Are Tottenham's X account, I put on it yesterday saying Saka 5 goals this season, Luka Vuskovic 7 goals this season.
But I think, well, he's got an interest from Real Madrid, United. A lot of these teams will be willing to put him in his first team. And do you think if we perform the same way as we do this season, in next season, do you think he's going to be sitting on the bench going, "Oh, how am I not playing when we've got Dragusin and Danzo? Although Danzo's been all right, I still think Vuskovic should get ahead of them because he's younger, and we fought off so many teams to sign him that it'd be stupid not to play him because all it takes is one period of him not playing and he's gone. He would leave Tottenham in a heartbeat if we're in the same situation next year.
Potentially, but I guess we're going to have to see how it all plays out. But Edward, thank you very much for coming on today, my friend.
Cheers, lads.
Oh, look at this one.
Interesting.
He's got
Call.
the duo.
All right, the main man, the main event, the person you've all been waiting for, Stelios. No, I'm joking. It's Brian Daigle. Yes, Brian.
Yes, Brian. How you doing, my man?
How are we doing, boys, and everyone in the chat? Hope you're all good and well.
Yeah, not bad, mate. I mean, 14 losses this season, Daigle. I can't actually quite believe that I'm looking at the table and seeing 14 losses. But talk to me about the game. I mean, first half was men against boys and slight improvement in second.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Ben, I'm going to say exactly what you said. I was actually, when I saw the team lineup, I was actually delighted with it.
Yeah.
For the exact reason that it was resting players that needed to be rested and giving players that needed minutes. So I've been very heavily critical of Ange recently, and in my opinion, rightfully so. But I've always said I'll give credit where it's due. And I've seen a lot of people on social media and everyone say, you don't do this against Man City. Why not? We're not competing. We're not competing for them in the Champions League. We're not facing them. It's the only game we have available because we're not in the FA Cup before we play AZ Alkmaar and games start coming thick and fast again. It was the only opportunity because we're out of the FA Cup to do this. Yes, he could have done it against Ipswich. Yes, he could have. But I will say, and with this selection, was damned if he does and damned if he don't.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
Do you not think the better game to do it would have been Ipswich, though?
Yeah, but probably. But this was Ipswich away, wasn't it? Ipswich away, a hard away game.
Ipswich have won one home game all season.
So all right, so he could have done it there, but he didn't. He did it at home at Man City. I mean, it'd be a bit different if it was last season when we were fifth, trying to get into the Champions League or anything. Yeah. But we're not fighting for the same things as Man City. They're not a direct rival this season.
Yeah,
they're not a direct rival. For us, it's Europe or bust. And made the changes. Listen, whether we think Odobert is good enough or the changes he made an improvement, they needed minutes.
Yeah,
they needed minutes, and there was so many people going on that we're back because we've won those 3 games. But then as soon as a big boy club comes along with the players back, the first half wasn't good. The second half was better. But there's a couple of things. I actually want to talk to you about a couple of players, actually, that have come in for criticism. Edward just mentioned one of them, Pedro Porro. What have we got to do? We've seen Ange toy around with players in different positions. What have we got to do to put Pedro Porro at right wing?
Yeah, I was thinking that, yeah.
You look at it.
Yeah.
You look at it. We have now got Spence there, who has got to be a starter, obviously taken out today for whatever reason Ange decided. But we have all season, when we've needed to get quality into Salanke, have not had regular quality able to bring him. He's not been able to cut it defensively. In that second half, in 5 minutes, he delivered 3 quality balls.
Yeah.
Immediately, and was so much more effective. What have we got to do to give Spence a starting right back and give at least toy with this idea? Because Porro has got the quality he has of being able to be a provider and create is a lot better than any forward we have at the moment.
Yeah, the reality is, Brian, he's a wing-back, right?
Yeah, he's a wing-back, but he started off as a right winger, didn't he? So we've seen, like that goal against Liverpool in Ange's 10-game run when it was the 90th minute where he got the own goal. If you need a guy to whip in quality, and I mean genuine quality, and there's one moment to do it, I'm putting all my money on Pedro Porro in that entire team.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he? Why do you think Ange doesn't play around with that and just push him further forwards? Do you think? What's the reason? Do you think in Ange's mind?
I think from up until now, up until the emergence of Jed Spence, he had no one else to play at right back.
Which is fair, but now he has.
Now he has, yeah.
Now he has. Now he has.
I mean, I would like to see Pedro Porro at right back, but I do question if he can kind of beat his man, consistently and get to those spaces consistently and put the balls in, because we know he's got the quality to put the balls in. But
he's got the quality. But Ben, I'm not. But before people go, I'm not likening him to this player because this player was the best.
You're going to say Beckham, aren't you?
Exactly what I was going to say. Beckham didn't beat his man. Beckham. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's anywhere near the levels of David Beckham. But David Beckham didn't take on a player. I mean, we also need a winger that is as direct as Doku. But the other player I want to talk about is Mateus Talle.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not. We look at it, and as I mentioned, all season long, we've known for Salanke he needs regular quality service, and Spurs didn't go out and buy the winger to create that. Well, now we've bought a striker that needs service another way, like Kula said, like the goal he scored against Villa, or through balls down the middle, and we just don't give it to him. Yes, we know he's small, we know he hasn't got power, but Jermaine Defoe got regular service. We found a way to find him. Why are we buying strikers that will get goals if given the opportunity, but give them no service?
Do you think that's the issue with with Tell because I look at him and I feel like he is a bit too lightweight.
He may be a bit lightweight, brother. He may be a bit lightweight, but the thing is, Ben, if you look at all those games, have we given him any service? Have we given him any through balls to chase, like for one-on-ones to see what he can do? Have we been able to deliver like Kulusevski did for that goal against Villa? Have we given him any opportunity like that? I don't think we have. And he's what is it now? His fourth or fifth game. He's 19 years old, and once again, Spurs. Let's just chuck youngsters in and hope it pays off, with no real quality around them. And I don't think it's fair on Matasso. Yes, he needs to get more busy and probably command the ball a bit more and make himself more available. But I don't think we're giving him any service to latch onto.
It's my problem with Tell is that he just doesn't get himself involved in the game enough. And in the small times he does get on the ball, it just looks really poor.
He does. I mean, then you look at it, and I don't understand when you're 1-0 down why Dane Scarlett doesn't come on instead of Timo Werner. I don't understand that substitution one bit. I was saying it before with Lancashire, wasn't I, before he went out on loan? I think a lot of us were. When you're 1-0 down and you need a goal, and you've got a striker on the bench, surely you bring on a striker that is having an impact.
Surely though, if they're not getting the service, what good would be bringing him on?
He's a different striker, isn't he? Look what he offers. He offers more than Werner. Look, he puts himself about. Look what he did against Ipswich.
He's much more physical than Tell as well. Yeah. Much more physical.
Yeah. So I just didn't understand that. I think we've got to let Tell settle in a bit. People saying, "Oh, if he was that bad, why did Bayern let him go?" Well, he's the third choice striker, and unfortunately, and I'll go now where I always go. Until someone at the top moves, this is what will happen at Spurs. We'll buy youngsters. They'll demand a cheaper wage, won't buy the real quality, and we will fail. No matter who's in charge, who's on the bench, who's running the show, who's the manager. But one player I do want to talk about again as well, just quickly, and I think I heard people talking about that. So I thought, you know what, Archie Gray.
Yeah. Speaking about him,
again, putting another shifter. Do you know what I loved about him today? His timing of his tackles.
Yeah.
His running to not make sure a ball goes out for a corner. His absolute, he always gives 100%. We have got a real player in Archie Gray, and I do mean a real player in that lad.
You got to pair him with Bergvall, though, both of them today.
Bergvall, yeah, but I mean, Bergvall, he glides. I think you said it when we spoke on the phone after Ipswich. He glides across the pitch. He does do some things a bit rash, but there is a play there. But what you've got to look at it, Ben and JC and everyone in the chat, if we do have them two as two of the three in midfield, we need a real diamond to be alongside them. And we can all say James Maddison did well against Man U and
Ipswich.
And Ipswich, when he came on, he started today and deserved a start. And it was non-existent. Non-existent. Now, I know he's coming back from injury. We got to work it out. But the midfield, we're all saying that one of Bissouma or Bentancur are likely to go or probably going to be out. We need a real diamond of a midfielder. And I mean a real diamond. An Edgar Davids, a Michael Carrick,
well, we need to have that.
Gus Poyet.
I don't even think it's that kind of player. We need to have that kind of summer when Arsenal just went go 100 million Declan Rice. We need to identify who that player is, and we need a strong player in the number 6.
Yeah, but this is the thing, Ben. That when we say that, that's where we're saying Archie Gray's going to go. So it's like, then do you need the 6? It's like, okay, you've got that as a 6. Bergvall, as we're saying, potentially as an 8, because they are the future. Let's look at it. They are.
But Brian, Archie Gray calls himself more of a box-to-box 8 than a 6. That's where he thinks his favourite position is.
Oh, good. They're good. Great. We're clueless.
That's the diamond.
Listen,
that's
mate.
The diamond right there, Brian.
Hey, he's our Swiss Army knife, mate. He just plays anywhere.
I know. He
just plays absolutely anywhere.
I think we need a 6 to go alongside Archie Gray.
But we keep hearing Ange doesn't play with us. I mean, well, the next thing is, will Ange be here at the end of the season? To start the next season.
Well, talk to me about that, because what does Ange need? Is there anything Ange can do from now to the end of the season for you to say, you know what, let's keep him for next season?
No. I mean, I said this when I did the panel show with you, Simeon and Sean, a few weeks ago. We were up this question, and you said even if we win the Europa League, and the reason I said even if we win the Europa League, I would have an argument for him going is because I know Daniel Levy will say we can win it this way. Just look, guys, this is what we do. We can win. We won't get the biggest window, and it will be more football like this. Obviously, people will say after the 3 wins we've just had, which was brilliant, and fair play to Ange for steering the ship and getting those results. Can't take that away from him. Credit him for that. But then as soon as we'll see with these, well, I wasn't say 4, but we just played one. Oh, we can include Alkmaar in it. But then you've got, what is it, Ben? Bournemouth, Chelsea, Fulham, or Fulham, Chelsea, whichever way.
Bournemouth, Fulham, Chelsea, yeah.
And Fulham, Chelsea away, and we do really poorly at both grounds recently, or Chelsea for a long, long time. We'll see where we are, but I just can't see how Ange can resolve this. And the only way I think Ange Postecoglou could be a huge success at Tottenham Hotspur is if the club listened to him, and for every player he needs in his position to play his style of football, Tottenham went out and got. Forget the value. Like if it was an £80 million player, a £30 million player, or whatever, go get every single player Ange wants in these positions, every single one, and then see what Ange can do. But he's not going to get back that way. So I just cannot see how he can turn it around. I just can't. But like I said, I will say, like I said at the beginning, I think the starting 11 and resting the players and giving the players minutes was the smart thing to do. I really do, because like I said, the league is done. Forget, we're not finished. People were saying like we're only X amount points from 7th or whatever. People keep assuming that we're going to win every single game and all the teams below us, above us, are going to lose. And Spurs will miraculously climb the table. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I just can't see him doing it. Like you said, Man U are now level on points with us. West Ham could be level on points with us. They beat Leicester tomorrow. Just thankfully, Everton didn't get the win against Brentford.
Yeah, that's what we're looking. I mean, that is just shocking to hear, isn't it? You know, when you put it down to that, when our fate is in the hands of Everton.
Mate, we if Everton had won and then West Ham win tomorrow, we could have been joined 16th. And so I just can't see. Like I said, well done for getting those 3 wins under your belt and getting the 3 wins and steering us away from the danger we were in. And he deserves credit for that. The players came back. I will give Ange credit for that. And I will credit him for the choices he made today. But do I think he could have brought on Scarlett for Tell? Yes. Do I think Porro needs to be tried at right wing, whether Ange does it or not? I mean, I think a lot of people would like to see it. Remains to be seen. And can he dig himself out of the hole that's been dug? And I don't think he can.
Well, time will tell, Brian. And, well, there must be something, though. There must be something where, in your mind, forget what Levy does, forget what anything, but in your mind, that you'll say, Ange, all right, I'll give you another season. Is there nothing?
Set him a target to aim for.
The only target you could have given me, in all honesty, and you've just taken it off the table, Ben, was Levy needing to sell him. And Ange get the fresh crack of the whip under a new owner. Then I'd be, okay, let's see what you got. I just can't see. Listen, if it maybe I'm being a bit rash and saying if he won the Europa League, I'd still get rid of him. But that all comes from my disbelief in the board. Everything.
Yeah, but that means no manager. You don't want any manager here. You know what I mean?
That's what's going to happen every time. So it's going to happen with every manager. So doesn't matter when Ange goes. 18 months later, we'll still be here if Daniel Levy's in charge. It doesn't matter what style of football. Doesn't matter what players he brings in. Shit will hit the fan and we'll be here again. So I just can't see how he can turn it around. And maybe like I said, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. If he won the Europa League, I'd say okay. In fact, let's be realistic and say, do you know what? If he won the Europa League, then he deserves a fair crack at the whip for bringing silverware to Tottenham.
Yeah. All right. Big up to you, Brian. Always good to
All
chat
right, brothers.
to you,
I'm
my
still,
friend.
Big
still
up,
waiting for your
Brian.
phone call, Ben.
Yeah,
you're gonna
sorry,
call me.
Brian.
You forget about me, you poor bastard. Speak to you both
See you
later.
soon.
Everyone in the
See
chat,
you-
have a good evening.
See you, Brian.
Speak to
Bye-bye.
you soon, bro. Bye.
What was that shirt he was wearing then with the brown?
I don't know. Half brown, half white.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
tell
should have
me.
asked him.
What was it?
I don't know. He was lying in a puddle or something beforehand.
We had someone lined up. Has he gone?
Yeah, he just left. No, we don't have anyone.
Where's he gone?
Chat amongst yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'd like to know what that shirt he was wearing, that jersey.
It wasn't
It's like the half and half, wasn't
a
it?
jersey.
Was it like a half for another team and then was it training kit or something? Ben, now's not the time to be texting.
It's the guy who was in the back end. He bottled it.
Oh, did he? Okay.
All right, he's going to come on and we'll end the show on him. But let's see what he has to say for himself, because I think he's gonna go against the grain a bit here.
Oh, good. I want someone like that. Yeah. Come
You
on.
want
Yeah.
someone-
Let's have it. Yeah.
You ready to have it out?
Yeah. Porro, man of the match to Porro.
Oh
that
my
man,
God,
your
that was
face when he said that was brilliant.
That was a muddy take, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
Porro's man of the match because he scored 2 goals that
I
was
know,
that
it's
last
funny.
season. That was brilliant.
Oh, you do get some characters, don't you?
We had some super chats. We may as well get into them. From Bethany saying Christian talked a lot of sense. The block on the left with the hair is a bit of an oddball. Big up, Ben. Oh, the bloke on the
Oh, is
left
that
with
me?
the hair is a bit of an oddball. You're an oddball.
Thank you. Why?
Big up, Ben and Sim.
And me, please.
No, not big up, John. You're an oddball.
At least I got you. I made you £5 for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super chat, Bethany. We'll wait a few more minutes for him to come back. If not, then I think that will be that from us today. But yeah, another loss for Tottenham Hotspur. 14 defeats this season. When's the last time we lost this many in a season? I can't remember.
2004.
How many? What was that?
I don't know, but
before?
I'd like to know. Maybe someone in the chat can say. But I think 2004 is the last, like, diabolical season that
What,
we've had.
03, 04?
Yeah. Or yeah, go for that.
Premier League 03, 04. So Premier League 03, this is just 11 games in. Match day 38. We lost, bloody hell, we lost 19 that season.
Yeah.
That was when Arsenal won the league at White Hart Lane, wasn't it? No, that was 04, 05. No, they never won it back to back, did they?
I don't know. So long ago.
19 defeats. I mean, we
Yeah.
could hit that this season.
Could be. It's possible. It's on the cards.
Bloody hell. But, yeah, what can I say? You confident Europa League next game? RZ Alkmaar? I've got a whole week's rest.
Am I confident? You can never. Whatever I say, it's probably do the opposite, isn't it? I don't want to. I like to jinx it by saying we'll lose and then we might actually win. You know.
You're another one like Josh King, just relying on the footballing gods.
Yeah. No. Like I've told you before, when I make bets on football, I always bet the opposite way round to kind of stave off the existential crisis if we lose. So, yeah, I don't know. We should get through that game. You'd have thought, wouldn't you?
Would you at any point would have sacked Dange this season?
It depends. Yeah, there's very good argument for that. Yeah.
Would you personally have done it though?
It depends if you want to save the season, so to speak, or just let him sort of run it out. How desperate are you for the cup competitions or not?
Well, where I was at is that when it actually looked like a genuine threat that we could be drawn into the relegation belt, that's when I was like, look, we need to get him gone. We need to bring in like some sort of firefighter just to save us in the Premier League, because we were just losing game after game after game. Maybe I just panicked a little bit.
Bit panicky, but now you've changed your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I've changed my mind in terms of that. I want to see him see out the season, but I still don't think
He's not the long-term solution, is he?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I can't. He's too much of a one-trick pony. He doesn't adapt to. You know, we all know this. We've all had debates on this and panel shows on this sort of stuff, haven't we? But do you still think we've got a chance with Europa or not?
Yeah, man. I mean, you
Still feel like we can, though.
I mean, you're looking at the quality of the team that are in the Europa League. I think that we should be getting to the final. We should be. You're looking at the teams that are in our side of the draw. There is no reason why we shouldn't be getting to the final. Alkmaar, Ajax, Frankfurt, Lazio. We can beat all of those teams.
It's just whether or not we do or not.
The problem is that over my years of supporting Spurs, I've seen us lose to some dross in the Europa
It's just
League.
like the boy cried wolf, isn't it? You've seen it so many years, like year in, year out, where we should be beating the teams. What was Mourinho's final season when we lost in the Europa, wasn't it?
Zagreb. We were 2-0 up in that.
You know, so it's just like we've seen this so many times. It's hard to believe, isn't it, until you start
I'd
seeing
like to
it.
think, though, this team is better than Mourinho's team in terms of personnel.
Oh, is it better? I don't know.
Apart from Harry Kane,
And Son was like
Son and
at his best.
It's true.
Difficult to say, isn't
But the
it?
rest of the team, it's upper level now.
I'd need to go through it
Like they had
player for
we had
player.
like fucking Matt Doherty at right back.
Under Mourinho,
Yeah.
was it? I thought he came in under Conte. No,
Was it under Conte? Who was
Can't-
our
I
right
don't
back
know.
under
no we had Aurier.
Aurier?
Aurier was our right back.
Here
Who's
he is.
speaking here? Have we got anyone coming on?
we got a
Oh,
guest
we have.
going
We
on.
have.
We got a guest,
We got a guest
going on.
lined up.
Yeah, just give me a
Yes.
sec. Give me a sec. We're just lining you up.
Uriel. Uriel's wedding.
Let's bring him on. Usmanov,
Hey,
how you doing, my friend?
hey, come on, you Spurs.
No, you only say that when we win, surely.
Oh, sorry, who's this guy? What's your name? Sorry.
My name's John Uriel. How you doing?
Hi, John. I haven't seen you on the channel before. Sorry.
He's
Well, I'm a vet. I'm technically a
he's a veteran. He,
from the
I was
golden
one of
era.
the
I'm
first
from the golden
subscribers.
era. Golden era.
Talk to me about the gamers. What do you think?
No, just going back to what you said a minute ago. How can we not win the Europa League? How there are teams in there that are just so bad, and we are miles better than all of them on paper. How do we not win? How have we never been to a Europa League final? Like,
Because we're Spurs. It's who
just
we are,
doesn't
mate.
make
Lose to
sense.
teams,
It's
we
even
lose to
our
teams
part,
like
AZ,
Dynamo
all these teams.
Zagreb and
Yeah.
Basel and these kind of teams. PSV, you know what I mean?
Well, I think we definitely can do it. We definitely should keep Werner out of the team, keep him as far away from the team as possible. He's driving me bananas. Why he keeps playing is I just don't get it. I just
Yeah, I
don't get
know.
it.
I know. I mean, at least we can all be comfortable when next season when Timo Werner's nowhere near the place.
I hope so. What, is he gone for sure then?
Yeah, they're not going to take up the option to buy him. No chance.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. And then maybe we'll see Gray in midfield where he belongs. He's so good at the moment at centre back. Imagine him in midfield. Wow.
Oh, mate. But you know, change for Tottenham. Done really good job on the protest last week against Daniel Levy. What are you saying on them?
Oh, the protest. Here we go. This Levy out agenda is driving me also
What?
crazy. What are you guys doing? I'm Levy in.
What?
I'm Levy
You're not
in.
Levy in. No way you
You
are.
saw the guy with the sign, Levy in. I wanted to stand next to him. I wanted to have him on my shoulders. I wanted to put him on
What?
the chair and
Mate,
dance
you need
around.
sectioning. The man in white coats are going to come to your house soon.
Look, it's late. It's late at night. We could go on this all night long. Next time we do a proper Levy channel, a Levy program.
Give me.
I'm here.
Okay, just give me one reason why you'd want to keep Levy. Just one.
Just from look at the start, from when Levy took over at Tottenham and where we are now.
That means nothing.
No one can deny that we're a completely bigger, better club since Levy has come in, correct?
No. Okay, take out Alan Sugar. Are we better than the 80s?
I don't know about going back that far. All I know about the 80s is on VHS, a bit of Glenn Hoddle. That's all I know about the 80s, to be honest.
Are we better than the chairman before? Oh, I don't know the name. Are we better than the 80s?
It was Irving Scholar.
Are we better than? Is Levy better than Irvin Scholar?
Yeah, probably not, but I don't
Well, there
know
you
what
go then. So,
competition
all
was
you're,
like then.
all you're judging this on is against Alan Sugar,
It's
basically.
It's not being about better than Alan Sugar or being a better than Irving Scholar. I agree with what he says. You know, the club is in a different stratosphere to what the club
No, the
that Levy
business.
took
No, the
over.
businesses, not the football
even,
club.
Even the club is on a different stratosphere. We've got a lot more kind of capabilities at what we can do now. But he's taken us as far as he can go. The guy makes bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. We
In
sacked
terms of what?
Pochettino.
Signings or managers? What bad decision?
Both. Everything. Investment in the squad. We're making bucket loads of revenues and we're sitting there seventh, competing with the Aston Villas in terms of wage spend. Like,
It's
he's a penny
difficult.
pincher. He's been penny pinching on the
course.
wages. We're decreasing on the wages year after year. We're signing players like Timo Werner. Like, tell me what good Levy has done in the last 5 years.
Well, in the last 5 years, he has spent. You saw that graphic that came out, the stats that we were with third net spend of all the teams over the last 5 years. So what more do you want? He is spending money. We definitely are spending money. The
We're
wage
spending money,
structure,
but our
yes,
wages are going down.
very under control. Yeah, I know. I think Ben Davies is still below 50K a week or something like that, which is really funny when you consider players of his caliber for other big clubs. They're on 100, 120 grand a week. Yeah, the wages is, we can give more money and that will attract bigger players, but ultimately bigger players want to go to bigger clubs. Luis Diaz, just perfect example. As soon as a big club hears that a player's on their way to Spurs, they think, hang on, why don't we sign him? And they come along and they snap him from us. And that's the way it will be. We are Tottenham. We are not a bigger club than Liverpool. We're not a bigger club than United. They will attract bigger players than us. And it's not only because of money. We were giving out a lot of money. Harry Kane was on big money. I think Son is on good money too. I don't know all the facts, to be honest, with the wages. But in terms of the players, the caliber of players that he has brought to this club over the years since he's been here, unbelievable. We've had some of the best players in the world have played at Tottenham.
And we've had some of the most, like, the worst dross as well.
I know, but it's easy to be where we are now and say, oh, we could be better. But look where we were. Do you remember, Ben, our first Champions League game, Bremen away? We were buzzing. We were so excited. We thought, what are we doing here? This is amazing. And the fact we got to a Champions League final. We were in the Champions League final. If I would have told you 10, 15 years ago we're going to play in the Champions League final, you'd say, how?
Yeah, that's more on the miracles that Poch was doing rather than Levy.
Yeah, but we get to a Champions League final and then a couple of years later, we're not in Europe at all. The club has gone on a downward trajectory ever since Pochettino left the club.
It's difficult. Poch also was. I don't know what happened with Poch. Everybody loved Poch. We were on a bit of a downhill. We lost a few games, and then Poch was gone. It was all pretty quick. Poch, I really can't forgive Poch for not starting Lucas Moura in that final. That's just something that's going to stay with me forever.
That haunts me. I've heard stories that it wasn't actually up to Poch on the day. Oh, that's for another day. But that annoyed me about Poch. I agree with you. If that is the case, that annoyed me.
I'd like to believe that, but ultimately he's the manager. He picks the team. If he wants someone to play, they will play. So I don't know about that. I think Harry Kane.
I think he had his hand forced by the Kane situation.
By Kane himself,
from the top. Yeah, and Kane as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I've got a bit of a different take on that. I feel like Lucas should have started ahead of Dele Alli.
I've heard Sim say that as well.
I think it was me.
But Sim also said that to me. Yeah,
did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Anyway, that upsets me, man, because I feel like Liverpool were there for the taking. That still haunts me, He was Moura was our little lucky charm as well.
That's why he scored a hat-trick in the semi-final and then he just gets dropped like that. That just not.
I know.
Not the way.
Put it this way, Ariel. Yeah. Put it this way. Yeah. 5 years ago, right? We were on level playing field with Arsenal, right? And they've overtaken us.
We were ahead of them.
Right? We were way ahead of them.
That's because they are in the stage that we are now. They were fed up of getting fourth. They wanted to be bigger than fourth. And that's kind of the stage that I see that we're at now. We were getting fourth for quite a while, and then we're all just pissed off about it all of a sudden. We want more, and we're not ready for more. We have to be calm to break into the top 1-2 teams in the country, which would basically be in the world. If we're top in England, we're probably going to be top in the world, aren't we? We're winning the Premier League.
We're not ready because Daniel Levy's not ready. That's what it is, because Daniel Levy doesn't want to push us there.
He's doing it gradually. It's not like
doing it gradually.
We can't just throw money at
gradually. He's taking us down gradually. We're getting worse and worse and worse.
I said at the beginning, Daniel Levy has taken us in 25 years at the club. He's taken us from being mid-table regulars to being top of the table, top four regulars.
And where are we now?
So what I want to say is give him another 25 years.
Oh
my God.
Payroll.
You're not being serious. Seriously. You look at the wages, yeah? We have 4 players over 100K in our wages. We're in 2025 guys, and we have 4 players
in 25
over
years.
100K.
Are you happy with that?
And
how many finals have we been in? How many semi-finals?
100K.
We've been in opportunities to win more cups. If we would have won the Champions League and if we would have won one other final, there'd be 2 trophies. You're saying we'd be happy? So you're judging the whole Levy career based on a couple of games?
Well, it's been
We've
one.
had-
How many
we've
finals
had-
then?
We've been on that stage. We've had that platform to win these finals, but we just haven't won them. And it's got nothing to do with Levy. We've had great squads that have got us there. I don't want to turn this into a whole Levy debate because, like I said, we could be here for ages.
I mean, like even Alan Sugar won 2 trophies, didn't he? Did he not?
Who was he the chairman in '91?
Yeah.
So yeah, he won 2.
So that dreadful Alan Sugar era had created more trophies than Levy's 25 years.
I reckon if we got to play Leicester in the final, we'd probably beat them too. But if you look at the teams we're playing in the finals now, it's very difficult. We keep coming up against proper teams. Liverpool in the semi-final all the time. We lose to big clubs. We lost to Portsmouth that one year. That was a bit hard to take. But otherwise,
in the semis, yeah.
Yeah. That was
otherwise, we've lost to the better team. We've lost to a bigger club.
I think you're still stuck in the Pochettino era. I think you still think we're in the Pochettino era and we're long gone from there.
I don't think that. I just think, okay, so you want to get rid of Levy. Levy is Spurs. He goes to Spurs every single week. He is Tottenham. He's not in it for the money. He's in it for Spurs. If he was in it for money, Gareth Bale would have been sold.
He's paid to be there. He's paid to sit in the crowd and watch the game. Why wouldn't he?
Held on to
He'd be
Kane
frowned
for as
upon
long
if
as
he didn't.
possible. We could have got £250,000 for Kane a couple of seasons earlier, but we held on to him because we knew that Kane is loved by the fans. We had to have Kane. Not one player has left Tottenham on a free. Not one big player has ran out their contract and left. Daniel Levy learned from Campbell, and he's never allowed that to happen to us. No big player has left Spurs for money. They've all left because they wanted to go. They've had enough. They wanted to go to a bigger club. And it wasn't about the money, and it wasn't about us selling them, cashing in for the most money we could get. They left because they all wanted to go. So in terms of managing
Why do they want to go there? Why do they want to go?
Why they want
Because
to
it's
leave
Real
there?
Madrid. It's Modric and Bale went to Madrid. Kane went to Munich.
Modric and Bale,
These
I can
clubs are
understand.
just
Modric
statue
and Bale, I can
footballs.
understand. Harry Kane left because we couldn't match his ambitions. That's why he left, and he still took 100 million for him. Why didn't he keep him till the end of his contract? Then if he doesn't care about
Do you
money?
give any credit to Levy for Kane? Do you give any credit to Levy for players like Modric, Bale, Berbatov, that whole team at White Hart Lane went unbeaten
You
the whole
mentioned
season?
one player that we've seen play in the last 15 years.
We never praised Levy. We never praised Levy when we were going through the highs. We never said, oh, this is all down to Levy. He's run our club so well. It's easy to find a scapegoat. When the managers are leaving every single few years, they can't blame the managers because they're always leaving. But Levy gave us everything you want. You wanted a Mourinho, you wanted a winner, you got it. You want Conte, here's another winner, you got it.
Oh, don't give me that shit because you can't. Yeah, you can. It's all very well and good with the smoke and mirrors of hiring Mourinho and hiring Conte, but what about the players that he gives them? He gave Mourinho and Conte snickle fritz. You can't hire Mourinho and Conte if you don't give them winners to play.
Who was around at the time? Who could we have signed? We tried to sign Diaz, but like I said, we got hijacked. Any big player we try and sign, any big player becomes available. Tottenham are probably the 10th team on his list of teams to move to. So
put it this way, yeah. You hire. Put it this way. You hire Antonio Conte. What Antonio Conte need and Jose Mourinho is a top-level defence. He hires fucking Clement Longley. Who's Clement Longley? He's one of the worst defenders I've seen at Spurs.
Managers bring out different things in players. Look at, obviously, Ferguson is a whole level above. But if you look at the players that Ferguson managed, right, and the O'Shea's, the Wes Browns, the teams that he built dynasties out of, they were average players. A lot of them were average players that he made amazing teams. It's all about the team. Football's a team game. The manager needs to get the team rallied. It's not about signing individual players.
Hang on, he was surrounded. Those Wes Browns were surrounded by like 9 world-class players, though.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But then again, Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, when we signed these players, they weren't big names, and they became some of the best defenders in our history. We had some of the best teams from players who we signed, and we didn't think anything of them at the time. Dembele was a bit of excitement when we signed him, but we didn't have no idea how good he would be. And I think we're still realizing every day how good he is, how underrated he was. And every day we think, wow, he's more amazing. It's tough, it's tough. It's easy to say, yes, we should be the #1 team in the country. We were going up, 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 up. And then suddenly we sort of stagnant for a bit and start going down. It's a journey, but we are a club with such stature. And that's thanks to Daniel. We have to appreciate that.
So why are we the 10th likely club for players to go to, like you said? Then
It's it's about the wages that ultimately throwing 300, 400 grand at players, which we don't do. We don't have that money to do.
Of course, he's got the money.
We
Levy's got
can't
the money.
afford, like
Enix's
City.
got
If
the
you look
money.
at some of the players that they've signed and they've given that money to, we would never do that. We would never be able to do that. You think we have the money for that?
So you don't think we're able to do a lot more than what we're doing?
Look, I think we have a very difficult task. To be the best team in the country, to win the league is almost impossible. One team got really lucky, won the league, Leicester. All the other teams that have won the league over the last 25, 30 years have spent billions, have just thrown money at the team, thrown money. They've lost their soul almost. We've kept our soul this whole time. We are
We
Spurs.
have not kept our soul. Our soul went out the door a long time ago. We finished 4th once in the last 5 years.
Yeah, because the team is at the moment, like I said, we were taking 4th for granted. We were taking being in the top 4, being in the Champions League. We were taking it for granted. It's such a competitive league, the Premier League. Everybody wants that top 4 spot, and we were so cemented there, so solid, until we started to get a bit greedy, wanting more. And now I see these protests for Levy out, and it pains me. Unfortunately, it pains me. We need to rally behind the team, rally behind the board. Ultimately, the board is the club.
Rally behind the board.
Yeah, rally behind everyone. Get together. Just keep the faith. Just keep believing. Keep supporting Tottenham. Not creating divisions amongst the fans. We're very close to seeing fights, beef in the stadium between. There are Levy in. There are a lot of Levy in. Don't just make me sound like I'm the one nutter in the whole
They
Tottenham.
are going down by the day,
they're
my
fading.
friend.
Luckily,
Going
they're
down by the
fading.
day.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be one of the last. I'll be waving my flag.
God. Don't you think though that sometimes things have to get worse before they can get better? I actually think that time's up now with Levy and the board. Like clearly, like there's a zeitgeist, there's a turning point now, even with the fans. They can see that it's waking everyone up, and I just think everyone is starting to realise like it's just Groundhog Day. Every season's Groundhog Day under Levy. Like there's not enough ambitions, not enough intent. Yeah, like he got us in a good position under Poch. There's a lot of moving parts had to work simultaneously to make that work. But let's be honest. Let's stand back and look at the big picture. Shiny new stadium, great training ground, but is the ambition and the intent behind the actual footballing side of things with Levy? I mean, I think that's pretty self-evident, right?
I think there is a plan. The plan is building the foundations, building the stadium, getting in all that cash so that one day we'll be able to spend the money like complete crazies, and we'll be able to give out 200 because we have the money coming in. We have a whole structure, an infrastructure.
I don't know. That sounds to me like this time next year, Rodders will be millionaires. That's what it sounds when I hear you say that.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds
I
like.
understand that. I understand that, but I don't think Levy will let our club just fall away by the wayside. I can't see that happening. He loves Tottenham. He ultimately loves Tottenham. You can't deny that. He's devoted most of his life to Tottenham.
I think he loves the money. I think he loves the profit.
He's the
I don't think he loves
highest.
the money. Then,
he's
like
the
I said, he
highest
would have
paid chairman
sold
in the Premier
Bale.
League.
We would have
By
sold
double, I
Bale
think, as
instead
well.
of dragging him out. We would have sold Kane. We would have sold
did
Modric.
sell
We would have
Bale.
all these players. Yeah, but
We
until
sold them all.
we held them on until they wanted to go, until there almost was it a year or two left on their contract, till they were going to go for cheap, really cheap. We didn't cash in on them at their highest, at their peak. That's for sure. Especially Kane.
So how do you explain the last 5 years then?
The last 5 years has been tough. We have spent money. We've signed the best players available to us every window for the last 5 years. Just now we were crying out for a defender. He went out and he bought Danzo. Who else was there to buy?
Whoopie do.
Oh my days.
I know, but I'm saying he's trying. He's giving you what you're asking for.
He's trying. You know, like, oh my God.
All right, do we get a trophy for that?
Yeah.
Going back to the game today, yeah, as we started, okay, we'll get on. Next time we do a whole Levy channel, a Levy show, Levy program, I'll be here. We'll do a nice debate.
Forget that. We need you in the studio for that. We need you in the studio.
What about Ange? Ange is, I don't know. Sometimes I think, oh, what a guy. I love Ange. You know, this could be the manager for us. This could be our 10-year manager, someone that people will be afraid of. And then sometimes I think, what an idiot. What are you doing? Just,
Yeah. So you don't think it was a good appointment from Levy then?
I don't know. Going back to it, it's like Brian. You're just getting obsessed with him, mate. I was waiting. I put a stopwatch on, and to be fair, it took him 8 minutes to mention Daniel Levy, which was a lot longer than I expected. But I don't know. And that game against.
What does he need to do for you, Uriel, to keep his job for next season?
Who, Ange?
Yeah.
Win the Europa League. Win the
that
Europa League.
it?
We'll have a
Is that
really
it?
good excuse for not winning it. A really good reason for not winning it. Why can't we beat? We've got AZ, and I think, is it Frankfurt afterwards?
Frankfurt Ajax, yeah.
Our reserves should be playing against these teams and giving them a good game. You know, if we
Yeah,
have
I
our
mean-
strongest team, how are we not winning, blowing them away in the first leg? Just doesn't make
Absolutely.
sense to me.
Absolutely. Mikey Moore was the best player against RZ Alkmaar last time out, and he was 17 years of age.
Yeah, there you go. I know you're looking forward to the Holland away trip.
I am, very
That's
much so.
always
I'm
the
going
dream.
flying out on Wednesday evening next
That's
week.
always the dream, the Dutch away teams.
And we could get a double header. RZ this round, and then Ajax next round.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a bit too much to take, huh?
I'd love a little Amsterdam trip, to be honest.
Coming?
Yeah.
So and like I said, he speaks amazingly. You know, he's got that sort of man management style that we can all get behind. He can be that father figure. You know, he can write a book. We'd all love his book. But then when it comes to a game like Leicester recently, when we were winning 1-0 at half time, how we were winning 1-0, I don't know. But you think, right, team talk, shape it up, you know, get the players running, get them playing well. And after half time, after 5 minutes, we're losing 2-1.
Yeah.
And he gets me
And
thinking, what
then
did you
game's
say
done.
to them at half time? What did you do in there? You know, like on Championship Manager, when you get the team talk and you say something bad, and then suddenly they all go down, they're all red on morale, and you think, what did I do? That's what he done there. And sometimes we're screaming for the substitutions, shouting, and he just does nothing. He just stands there. He doesn't do the whole, you know, with his hands and fingers and movement and that. That's his style. But sometimes I think we need that. We need that kick. And he just does it. He just seems to just stand there and think, yeah, don't worry, something good will happen. I don't know.
See, when you're talking about this, I can feel there's logic behind it and there's a bit of sense. You know what I mean? But it's always like that's like completely different to your
I've got a lot of
argument,
logic, but my heart is bigger than my brain, like a lot of Tottenham fans. And I've always got a soft spot for Daniel because of what he done for us. You know, when he came in, Campbell was leaving us. We were about to be like, oh my, where were we going? I cried. I cried when my dad told me Campbell's leaving to Arsenal. I couldn't believe it. I was in tears. As a 10-year-old, I was crying. And then a few years later, we got Berbatov, and then we got Modric coming in, and then we came these Van der Vaart and all these players that you think, wow, these are top world-class players. How are they playing for Spurs? And we have Daniel to thank for that. And that's why I'll always be loyal to Daniel. I always have a soft spot for Daniel. I'll always give him time.
every top club signs like the odd top class player every now and then.
Not every top club. Not every top club.
Yeah.
We weren't a top club at the time. We were what Villa are today, you know, and they've signed, maybe you can say Asensio, but even he was nowhere on the level of Van der Vaart was back then. So
They've just signed. If I told you a year ago Villa would be signing Asensio and Rashford, you'd laugh me out the room.
yeah, but things change quickly in football. Rashford is, you know, even if we signed Rashford, would we be excited?
I think he'd actually do a good job for us, Rashford.
Well, you think,
on
but
a
you're not
6-month
sure.
loan. I'm not 100% sure, no.
Anyone but Werner. I just get so annoyed every time Werner plays. He does nothing. He just does nothing. Going back to the game today, yeah, it's tough. You know, we went into it with such. I think we were a bit too cocky. I saw one of your predictions was 4-1 to Tottenham, Ben. Like
Someone said that in the chat, yeah.
yeah, and that's why we lost, because I think we got a bit too cocky, a bit too lackadaisical. I was like, oh, it's only City. We always beat City. But yeah, you have to give City respect. How we beat them 4-0, I'll never know. Like
Literally.
that was just the
Probably
maddest
not
result
gonna happen
ever.
again. But yeah, I mean, who was your man of the match today? Anyone stood out for you?
The truth is that I only watched the second half because I didn't realize it was a 7:30 kickoff.
Oh, you missed the best part.
They got me good. I thought Tottenham
When they
City,
closed, they
surely
did close
gonna
up on
be
Levy.
the 8:15 game. They all looked a bit average today. They didn't really deserve to be a player of the match for Tottenham. Vicario didn't make mistakes, so maybe him.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, anyway, great to get on the channel. Great for the debut.
Good to have you on, my friend.
Yes.
And I'll see you soon.
Yeah, hopefully be a regular. See you soon, guys. All the best.
See you later.
mate.
See you,
Bye-bye.
Josh, mate. Bye.
Wow. Never thought I'd find a Levy in.
Yeah. No. And on that note, I think we're going to end the show. So I want to thank you all for calling in. Thank you all for joining us. All this an hour and a half fan show. Big up to John for
Cheers for
coming
having
back
me on. Good to be back.
in the studio. But like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you
Come on, you
Spurs.
Spurs.